Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Schoolboy here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 6, episode 2, Champagne Confessions. But before we go ahead and get into that, we do have some quick announcements to go ahead and make while we sitting here talking and I'm having this conversation. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. First of all, let's do that. Make sure we like this video up so that it is pushing around through the algorithm. If this is the first review that you're seeing, there is other episodes. So I have just started into reviewing Real Housewives of Miami. So y'all go ahead and like any videos that are on the page, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell button. So every time I drop a video, y'all will be able to get that information. All right. Another church announcements this week, actually tomorrow, which is Friday, November 10th at 10:15 Eastern time, which is 9:15 Central time, we will be premiering Hotline Bling. This is a brand new virtual talk show in which we will be discussing reality TV, fashions, and hot topics. It does feature Shayla Set, myself, Chase, and Chef Don Don. This will be premiering on Chef Don Don's channel. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to the channel, his channel. You hit the notification bell button so that you can get notifications of when the episodes drop. And that way you guys can actually know when these episodes drop. They're going to drop every Friday, okay, at the same time. Now, with that being said, I'm going to tell you it's uber messy. We filmed the first episode this week. And when I tell you it is messy as hell, it is messy as hell. I don't even remember half of the things that I said that night. The reads, the gags, and the roast were just flowing from all of us. So y'all definitely will enjoy that video when it drops. So y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Chef Don Don's channel. And if you're watching this video and you would like to donate to the channel, the Cash App is rolling across the screen as well as a Venmo. And I just want to let y'all know that everything that is spoken on this channel is my opinion and mine's alone. Okay. If you have a problem with it, oh well, I don't know what to tell you. You can argue with yourself in the comments because I won't be responding. You can also always follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which is also rolling across the screen as well. I usually mostly cuts up on Twitter more than any other place. So if y'all want to just see the live action cut up, y'all make sure y'all follow me on my social media. So now that everything is all out the way, let's go ahead and get into the mess. So again, this is the review for Real Housewives of Miami, season 6, episode 2, Champagne and Confessions. So we open the episode with, we got to see Larsa and Marcus. We got to see Larsa and Marcus, and they're at her condo, and he's there, and this plant man bringing this big old elephant plant sculpture. And then we flash to Julia. She's washing her dog on the back of the pickup truck. The dog is shaking the water back on her and all of that. So cool. We get through all of that. So then, the episode really begins, and we start to see Dr. Nicole with her son Grayson, and they're getting ice cream, and he's getting his cotton candy ice cream, and she's getting her ice cream, and then she makes a phone call to GUERDY. She invites, GUERDY to happy hour with the other girls, and Nicole says she knows like something is really going on with GUERDY, but she's not quite 100% sure as of what that is just yet. And she wants to get the group of besties together to see what's going on with her, i.e. the other part of the cast, which actually, is their small group. And, maybe that would spark GUERDY to kind of open up, because it would be not everybody together. It would be just, the intimate people in one spot. So we flash over to the next scene where we're at Jody's house, which y'all know is Adriana's old house from back in like I think 2013, a flashback, so over 10 years ago. Um, and that's Lisa's boyfriend. So Julia and Adriana are coming over to have dinner with them and, just catch up and have conversation. And Adriana brings, him a plant and she says she doesn't even recognize her old house because he's updated to the modern Miami feel, which I thought the house was amazing. The upgrades that he did was beautiful. I didn't particularly care for the house when Adriana had it. Eh, I'm not into the Spanish style look, but I really did like what Jody had did with the place now and how it looks now. Um, she does throw shade in her confessional, and she says she likes her style better. I'd say his style was much better. So Lisa says that Jody has brought up them moving in together, and she says right now is not the time because she's still married to Lenny, and she dealing with all the antics of Lenny, blockading her, not wanting her to have certain money, and not wanting the kids to have this, and not wanting the kids to have that, and she's just feel like she's just going through all the motions, and right now she's just not ready to commit to anything of moving in together, which I think is great. I know they joked about them buying the house next door, and if Lisa was to move in, how he would have to make more closet space because it would be so crazy. But I'm gonna say this, like, Lisa, I feel is moving way too fast with Jody. I think he's a nice guy and he is showing all the traits of being empathetic to her situation and what is going on with her. But if I have to be like 100% with it, I feel like Lisa needs to take her time and really get to know Lisa and really get on her own 2 feet and square herself up right before she jumps into anything serious with another man. But I do understand that sometimes when people are Lisa was married to Lenny for 15 years. So with that being said, some people that are married and they're so used to having somebody with them, they will automatically jump into another situation and get all involved and involved with that because they just don't want to simply be alone and figure things out on their own. And that's where I feel like Lisa is at. Just my personal opinion, but Lisa, you need to make sure you get your own finances together so you ain't out here depending on no man. Because you did that for 15 years and look where it has honestly gotten you. It's not in the best position as of right now. Because now you got to fight with Linda to try to even get him to do anything. Because he ain't trying to give you nothing. So we jump over to Larsa working out in the gym. She doing squats to keep that damn BBL tight. Larsa, you still lying about that BBL, but you know what? I'm going to let you make it. Kiki and Alexia join her in the gym to work out with her and her trainer, excuse me. Kiki falls off the workout ball, and she says in her confessional she plays with balls. She don't like to work out on balls. Damn, Kiki, I don't even want to go there because you must be playing with a lot of different Peter Whackers and balls and all of that. I don't. Got a lot of ding-a-lang in your life. That's all I can say. Kiki and Larsa voiced that they couldn't believe Todd wasn't there at the party that Alexia threw, and they can't imagine him and Alexia are having problems, and they just got married. She says the reason why she said they weren't getting divorced is because she knew that was what the ladies would have been thinking. In all honesty, Alexia, that was the dumbest move that you could actually did. You telling them or saying, "Oh, well, we're not getting a divorce." What you did was you created a whole narrative and a whole different thing that you're gonna have to be combating all season long because you said it, and now everybody's gonna be really questioning even more because you said it. I would have just let them think whatever the hell they wanted to think in that moment, but you are deciding to kind of go back and forth and create this narrative is not going to make it better for you. So Kiki says in her confessional, it's just not adding up for her, but go off. Larsa says you said it had nothing to do with Anthony and Nicole, and says, well, who would the issue be with? And Alexia says it would be Adriana. Kiki says, well, I have to keep it real concerning Adriana, so Kiki coming in carrying a bone right quick. She said, I gotta keep it a buck 50 with you. it's always going to be an issue with Adriana, and that's what I'm seeing based upon how she's carrying herself, what she's saying around certain people. It's always going to be an issue between you and her, and that ain't going to change. So it's kind of like it is what it is. Production then flashes back to Adriana in the car saying Alexia feels superior over the other girls due to the financial things that Todd provides her with. So she has a more superiority complex to everybody else. Alexia says that she doesn't that Adriana just doesn't want her to be happy, and that's all it is. It's just she don't want me to be happy. It is what it is. So Marisol calls and says she is glad they didn't invite her to work out because she's planning her annual gay brunch. And she invited the girls to come. She lets it be known that she isn't inviting Julia because she feels like she doesn't like her and she doesn't want that energy at her brunch. Marisol, you're mad because Julia on the first episode let you know in front of everybody that she sees you for your works and the fact that you stir up the mess and you keep the stuff going and then you act like your drunk ass is so innocent and you don't know what the hell is going on. That's what you got mad because you got called to the carpet and you couldn't handle it. So now you don't want to invite the girl. And honestly, she should have never. I would, if I was Julie, I would have been happy I didn't get invited to anything around your snake ass. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. So they flash over to Adriana, Lisa, and flash back over to Adriana, Lisa, and Jody at his house. And Julia's walking up to join them. Jody leaves the kitchen and he going upstairs. He said he got some work to go do. He gonna let the girls sit there and gossip. So Lisa says, you were on fire last night in reference to Julia. And Julia says her issue is that Marisol starts rumors, stir the pot, and acts like she hasn't done anything. You know, you're not finna sit up here and play games in my face and act like you're so damn dumb to it. And then you want Alexia to jump in and help defend the stuff that you've done. And what Alexia did that at that party was just backed up and let Marisol handle her own scandal, and she couldn't handle it because she was looking for her partner in crime to go ahead and just jump in for her. So it shows you honestly that Marisol is weak without Alexia. She needs Alexia to help her do her dirty work, which is I just find crazy to me, in my personal opinion, because you a grown earth woman. Stand 10 toes down in what you're doing, because you're doing it. And it's blatant and it's on camera. It's not like, people don't know. So Lisa says in her confessional that she does stir the cauldron. Then she says GUERDY was crying with LARSA and she didn't know why. And she was saying she was going to need her. They flashed to LARSA in the gym saying she's crying about needing her, that GUERDY's crying about needing her. And she doesn't even know what GUERDY is talking about half the time or where she's even coming from. They didn't go back to Lisa and them having a conversation and says, well, how come no one knows what is going on? And everybody's just kind of like in pause mode, kind of like, well, none of us do know what's going on. So we're all kind of in the same boat. We move to date night. They move on to date night with Marcus and LARSA on this date, and they're talking about how bad they eat. And she thinks that she's been in love since she's been in love with him. She's gained 10 pounds. And I'm like, girl, all you gonna do is go get some more liposuction or some work done to your body. You ain't gonna work out but so much. You gonna lay on some doctor's table. They're gonna suck it out and it's gonna be done. So all of this whining and crying about weight, was just like, girl, please stop the madness. She says Marcus lives in Orlando, but he's basically a bonus to her life. No, he does not live with her at this point. They don't live together, but really she's just focusing on her businesses and her kids. She says she doesn't want to financially depend on Marcus. And then they talk about this podcast where they'll address all the misconceptions about their relationship. At the end of the day, if y'all are going to y'all got this podcast deal, and and here I'm gonna tell you, this is where, side note, for me, it's really irritating me about all these podcast deals that are going down for all these reality stars, entertainers, and all of this stuff. At the end of the day, a lot of them don't even have a personality. That's one. Number two, they think whatever reality TV personality or whatever's going on reality TV, that they can pan this over into a long-standing conversation of talking about the same things, or open this up to different talking points about what's going on with them. And I really find this to be cringeworthy. At the end of the day, do I really give a damn about Marcus and Larsa Pippen and what's going on in their relationship and misconceptions? Actually, no. I could care less. Who cares? No one really cares. Okay. You are dating an heir to an NBA, greatest of all time player, legend, who's an heir, who basically gave up basketball himself because they kept comparing him so much to his father that the pressure was too much. And when every time he made a mistake on the court, it was always scrutinized. So then he goes and works for the Jordan brand, and he, has his, I think I think it's a shoe store or something in Orlando. Whatever, he's working for Jordan brand, and he's doing this and he's doing that, which is still a part of his father's name, and yet he's still trying to grasp for an identity. And I just I don't know if this is real love or this is infatuation, or Larsa just likes the idea of being in love with this dude, but it's gross. The codependency, it's really just like, Larsa, come on. At 50, you damn near 50, you shouldn't even be doing all of this over no young boy, no young guy. I mean, come on. I personally just don't see who cares about your misconceptions, because at the end of the day, people are going to feel what they feel about this because it's uber messy. It's messy. Let's just be clear. It's messy. It's hell. Okay? It's messy. She asked him, what's the timeline on marriage, what he thinks it's about, and he's like it's situational. So again, I think Marcus is like 32, 33. Like he said, I've been just trying to get out of my father's shadow and work. Marriage has never been really on my focal point of things to do. But she is hinting towards it. The producers asked Larsa if she thinks he's gonna propose anytime soon. She says she just don't want to jinx it. And ma'am, I could care less. But if you get Pippen hyphen Jordan, child, okay, I'm just let that one go. Then they flash over to Lisa and her driving to the courthouse for the temporary custody agreement hearing with her between her and Lenny with the lawyers. And she's on the phone with Jody, and Jody's like, "Look, you just asking for support for the kids. I don't see what the issue is." Um, and Lenny wants her out of. She's telling him Lenny wants her out of the house as well. So the lawyer calls her and says, "You don't have to go to the hearing. Lenny has agreed to the terms of the temporary support agreement, and they got to complete the paperwork." So basically, they flash and they say she was awarded like $8,000 a month, which, given the lifestyle that Lisa likes to live, the lifestyle the kids are accustomed to, 8,000 is probably going to run through her hands like water because it ain't going to be enough. She says he's being selfish, he needs to be fair with her, and he needs to but she understands he got to maintain, his little relationship with his new thought piece. And she just feels like she's questioning the age difference and all of that. And it's like, Lisa, come on, he was gonna move on and get somebody younger, replace you, and that's really what it was. I will say this with Lisa: the $8,000, you're feeling that it's unfair, but at the same time, in this whole 15 years of marriage, ma'am, you should have been siphoning some money and making sure that you had all of your ducks in a row, so that if he ever decided to up and leave, you had some money and some mad money to the side. You should have took some lessons from Shawnee Henderson. That's who you should have took some lessons from. And she's like, she feels like she's owed way more, and he's just playing in her face. And honestly, Lenny is playing in her face. Lenny don't want to give this woman nothing. And if it was up to Lenny, I do believe that Lenny would not give her anything, because he doesn't want to give her anything, honestly. So we flash to Marisol's gay brunch event, She gets there. The bar was not set up. The DJ comes in. She tell him take off his shirt, and she said that she felt like the event wasn't feeling gay enough. And I'm just like, I really honestly, I get tired of Marisol and her drunk ass in these scenes. It is really just, it's too much for me. So they move on to Nicole, Gertie, Adriana, and Julia, I'm sorry, at happy hour together having oysters and champagne. And Adriana dives right on into it and is like, well, what happened with you at Alexia's party to Gertie? And Gertie says, whoa, first of all, pump your brakes, heifer. I need a drink before I get into that because it's a lot for me. Okay. She says in her confessional that she's nervous about telling the girls about her breast cancer diagnosis, but she says she does feel safe with this group of women of being able to open up. So they go back to Marisol's gay brunch and Kiki and Lisa walk in. Kiki says, hey girl, I was out last night and soon to be ex-husband Lenny's thought piece ex was at the party, and girl, I was willing to go ahead and take one for the team and go on and mess with him just to help you get back at Lenny. And Lisa Lisa just sit there looking stuck on stupid, and then Lisa asks for a drink after all of that news unravels. Then we go back to Gertie, Nicole, and Adriana and Julia getting their cocktails, and Emilio Estefan. And if you don't know who Emilio Estefan is, you were living under the rock or you too young. One of the two. Emilio Estefan is Gloria Estefan's father, big influential in the Latin music culture. Been putting out music for years, producing, writing, etc. His daughter was huge in the Latin music as well. Still is. Actually, Gloria Estefan is actually a part owner in the Miami Dolphins with Venus and Serena Williams and some other people. So they talk and everyone's like, wow, because he actually was at dinner with his daughter and came over there to talk to her, and everyone's like, wow. And Nicole's like, shoot, Adriana might really be taking this music stuff really serious, because he came over here and made his way to her. So he proceeds to play the song that they recorded together, and it does sound good. It sounds amazing. It does sound good. So they go back to Marisol's gay brunch, and Alexia comes in, and then Larsa sneaks up behind Lisa and Alexia as she's explaining that Todd and her are not getting a divorce, but fails to realize she never really had to say that in the first place. Now you're out here still over explaining something that you really didn't even have to explain in the first place, which is kind of crazy to me. Really, you could have just said he didn't want to be around the group tonight, and that would have sufficed, in my opinion. So now you run around trying to do damage control, and it just looks real weird to me. So then they go back to Gertie, Nicole, Adriana, and Julia talking at happy hour, and Adriana says she claims she apologized to Todd as she was exiting their building, and Todd was coming in after he worked out and had him a little steak, whatever. He was coming into the building, and she says she's apologized to him, and Todd, he basically, she says, I apologize for anything that you inadvertently took a L for because I was mad at Alexia. And he tells her, look, I'm good with you. Then Adriana says to him, I'm assuming that you have some things you still need to work on your marriage. And he tells Adriana that she hit the mark on the nose, that it is some stuff that they need to take on. They do need to work on him and Alexia. Now, allegedly, the rumor is going around that Todd and Alexia are having financial problems, and that's what's floating and around and circulating. And I think over time with this season, we'll kind of, I guess, get that they hint on that, or they get to that point where they discuss that at some point about that. So I think that comes into play at one point. So Adriana basically says, hey, I look at it like this: there's trouble in paradise, and the heifer is sitting up here trying to, put it on everybody else and try to make everybody else seem like, oh well, everybody else got I'm good, but really in reality, she's not really good. There are some issues that they really do need to work on. So they go back to Marisol's gay brunch, and them eating and enjoying themselves and having fun. Larsa just has to call Marcus at the brunch and say hi and make him say hi to everybody in the FaceTime and all this. And I'm just like, girl, you was damn near 50 years old. This is teen too damn much. It ain't that deep. You can't be away from this man for 3 days. You that deprived that you this is that person to be around this dude. Like it's just it's weird to me. She then tells all the women that she's having a welcome home party for him, and they all looking at her like, welcome home party, you's a damn fool. Girl, it ain't even that serious. What is wrong with her? What is wrong with you? And Kiki says she wants to say, Kiki's like in the confessional, like, girl, you 50. I think you will be okay if Marcus is gone a few days. Like, ma'am, you're doing seem way too much. Like, this is ridiculous at this point. Kiki then takes the time, she takes a shot, and then she says she wants to say something and wants to make sure Jody is not a rebound to Lisa. And she says in her confessional that he's everything. So Lisa says in her confessional, like, he's everything that I need him to be. He's emotionally intelligent with me. He loves me unconditionally. Hey, it's good for me. I'm good, and I feel the support and love. And basically, my man, my man, my man, my man. That's how Lisa is, handling it with Jody. God bless him. I wish him luck, but I do feel like she is low key moving on way too fast. So then they go back to Gertie, Nicole, Adriana, and Julia talking at happy hour, and Adriana opens up about how she went and visited Jody and Lisa, and they all said that Lisa might be moving like way too fast with dude. Given all the issues right now that she got it going on with Lenny, she need to be worried about that instead of worrying about being up underneath some man. And Gertie is like, she really should take some time before she get into anything serious. Then Julia chimes in and was like, shit, she needs YOLO. Do whatever you want to do. Have fun. Do what you want. And Gertie said, well, girl, pump the brakes. How many times have you been engaged? And Julia says she can't count how many times she's actually been engaged. She says she's had at least 9 engagements, and she compares it to the 9 Wimbledon championships that Martina has won. And I'm like, girl, 9 times. I've only been engaged twice. Okay. And them twice, the next time I get engaged, it better be, when I mean good, I better know 100% sure that I'm actually going to walk down the aisle with that woman, because I ain't playing no more times of buying rings and you break up and then the heifer keep the ring and then you don't get it back. Okay. When I do it this time, we actually going down the aisle. That's just me. So Nicole brings up what's going on with Gertie. Like, you my girl. You need to go ahead and tell me what's going on, because I can sense that there is truly something going on with you. And I need to know what it is, because she knows something's going on with her friend. Gertie says Larsa came up to her super aggressive that night, and it was just too much for her at that moment. They go back to Marisol's party, and Larsa is saying to Lisa, Alexia, Kiki, and Marisol, she doesn't know what's going on with Gertie. She's confused why she was crying, and she's curious about what she's going to say. And they also show that her and Gertie had a prior phone conversation earlier in the week, and they committed to meeting up with one another and having a conversation, because Gertie wants to clear up whatever it is and probably tell Larsa that, hey, I have cancer. This is what I'm going through. I've got stage 1 breast cancer. This is what I'm going through. Let me, this is why I have been so up and down. The ladies say, give her the benefit of the doubt. She might be going through something, and you may be putting 20 on 10, and you haven't even seen what the woman has to say yet. So wait until you get to that point. So they flash to Gertie telling Julia. They go back over to Gertie telling Nicole, Julia, and Adriana about her journey and finding out she has stage 1 breast cancer and how many biopsies she's had, what she's going through. Gertie just like break down, and she just begins to cry. And all the ladies begin to cry with her. She says, hey, I gotta go into surgery really, really quickly. And they have to see, what's going on and how much chemotherapy she's gonna have to take. And she's just worried about Russell. And Julia says, don't worry, he will be fine. He will be there to support her, just like they will all be there to support her. They cheers and they say F cancer. And I did see that this week GUERDY did ring the bell, so she's cancer free and she has had her last chemo treatment. So shout out to GUERDY for pioneering and coming through and having a vulnerable moment on camera and being able to talk to the ladies about it. I really dug that. So they flashed to Todd and Alexia on a date, and she's still talking about buying her grown son Peter groceries. And Todd is like, man, he a grown earth man. Why are you up here buying groceries for him still? He can't go to the store and get his own groceries. Like, this is ridiculous. And I was looking at Todd like, I'm with you, bruh. Because this is ridiculous. 30 years old, he can't buy his groceries. Like, Alexia, come on. That's past codependency. That's like almost like you sleeping with your son. It's real weird. I don't understand moms with that overbearing, incestuous type feel. It's weird to me. It's just my opinion. She says they even share the same housekeeper just so she can know what's going on in his house. Again, weird. Okay. Todd says, leave him alone. He's grown. And I agree with Todd. Todd says he had a good steak that night, worked out, and he just stayed away from everybody. He said he saw everyone leave out the building, and that was when they kind of flashed back to what Adriana previously had said, telling the girls. And they flash back to Adriana earlier talking about they needed to work on their marriage. He says he would have said the same thing. He says if they would have went to one of the other women's house and they would have went there and one of their husbands wasn't there, they would have gotten in the car and talked the same shit. He said, so what's the difference? He said, why do you even care what they think? He said, because if that was us and the scenario was flipped and it was one of them, we would have been talking shit. So it's not a big deal. Todd claims that he is not comfortable with being around at a table with people he's not comfortable with. I don't think what's just the big deal. A lot of these husbands go through these ebb and flows with these shows because at the end of the day, their wives sign up for that. They don't get paid to be on the show. Now, if the wife chooses to give her husband a percentage, then that's cool. I hate that Carlos King started that narrative and really put that out there and created that, because now people run around on social media, Twitter, and all of these other places. Well, the husband's getting a percentage. They're not. If the wives give their husbands some of the money, that's the choice. If other wives have had that agreement with their husbands, that's the choice. But at the end of the day, husbands don't get paid to be on the show. They don't really got to deal with half of this stuff. So if they act incognito or they do some scenes, but they don't want to do all scenes with them, it should be understandable because they're not the ones employed by Bravo. They're not Bravo talent. They're just an accessory to the talent. So he tells her that he appreciates her understanding in that moment. And the producer asks her, like, basically, like, have you ever bailed on him and anything that he's had going on? And she says, well, no, never. And she says she didn't like how he's not supporting her. And she's done it a lot of times, even when she didn't want to, and it's an uncomfortable thing for her. Which again, I understand, but you can clearly see that there's trouble in paradise with Alexia and Todd. They just trying to throw people off the scent, but you can see it. It is naturally happening without it being forced, without this or that. It's naturally happening and you can actually see it. And it doesn't feel fake. It feels real. Okay. It's not a situation where you like looking at Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and you seeing Kyle and Mauricio where you don't even know if it's fake, real, or it's Broadway acting. We just trying to figure out what it is. So they flash to Larsa and GUERDY meeting at a cute little coffee shop. Larsa says she wants to know why GUERDY is saying she's fake and these highs and lows, and and then she says she just doesn't, and what these fake highs and lows are. GUERDY gets there, she orders her food, whatever, they're talking. And she just basically is so damn rude. This is why I don't like Larsa. She goes, well, just don't cry. How can you tell somebody not to cry or not to do this or not to show emotion about something? You don't even make Larsa. The problem with you is you're so unemotionally intelligent. It's ridiculous. Everything has to be about you, Larsa, 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 Larsa. When it's not about Larsa, you can't comprehend nothing outside of Larsa's world and social media. I have never seen someone almost 50 years old so engulfed. Let me take that back. I lie. It's a whole bunch of old ass motherfuckers on YouTube that have that same problem of being so engulfed with other people's lives or so engulfed with reality TV or engulfed with stalking folks that it's ridiculous. So I can see why you are this way. I really can see how you are this way because your life is that, and then you were also used to be friends with Kim Kardashian. So I can see how dense your brain could be that you can't see anything outside of Larsa Pippen. It's actually disgusting to me. And I don't even know how you would have any friends being like that. Because you're so all about you. I mean, you will make anything about you. That's how sad this is. So I got activated and got mad and forgot where the hell I was. That's how pissed off I just got. It's ridiculous. And GUERDY just basically checks her and she says, like, look, you need to calm down because this is not how you approach that. And this is not how this conversation is going to be able to go in order for us to be productive adults. You're going to have to talk to me a little bit better than that. So GUERDY said Alexia's party wasn't the time or the place to talk about it. And Larsa brings up social media. Again, Larsa goes back to social media. I swear to God, I think Larsa does not live outside of social media in the real world. You are obsessed with social media. It's kind of disgusting to me. She's like, and GUERDY lets her know, like, that's the world you live in. You so worried about social media that you don't even live in real reality in the real world. You're so engulfed with that. GUERDY says that she's been very disrespectful, terrible to her. The way you talk to me is foul, and you expect me to really want to even have a conversation or be able to have a civil conversation with you when you are the way you are when you speak to me. It's disrespectful. Larsa says she doesn't do that. Larsa, were you not at the reunion? You overtalked everybody on the damn stage. I got to a point where I just wanted to get and run through the TV screen and just slap you because I was tired of you talking. It's like you don't know when to shut up. For real. It's really bad. It really is. She says she doesn't even know what GUERDY is even talking about. Again, Larsa, you listen to react and not listen to comprehend, and that's another issue with you. And GUERDY does check her, and she's like, "That's what, because you're not listening. That's why you don't understand what I'm saying, because you don't listen." GUERDY is beginning to cry, and then Larsa says she's going through a lot too. Again, you flip it back to make it about Larsa. You're making it about you again, and GUERDY is trying to tell you about what's going on with her, but somehow you keep making it about you. And she's going through a lot too, and she need to tell her what's going on with her in her life. Larsa says, what are you crying about? What are you crying about? What are you crying about? I wouldn't say nothing to you when you're acting like a bitch to me, and you're not even allowing me to even speak. You're not even allowing me to say anything or get anything out of my mouth because you just and I'm just like, Larsa, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I see why you ain't with a man your age, because again, you lack maturity. You're very immature for someone who's damn near knocking on 50. You just had a 49th birthday. And this is not be age shaming or any of that, because I know how y'all be. You just trying to age shame. No. What I'm saying is that someone of her age should be more emotionally intelligent than this. It's ridiculous. So GUERDY says you don't make it a safe space for people to even speak to you or express what's going on. And GUERDY begins to get up and leave as LARSA keeps saying, "What are you talking about?" And that's how the episode ends. I hope GUERDY like really checks her next week further, but I want LARSA to get some emotional intelligence. I want LARSA to grow the hell up. I want LARSA to act like her age and not her shoe size, because it's absolutely ridiculous. And you wonder why you ain't really got no friends. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. That was the end of the episode, y'all. That's all I got right now. Ain't got no more. Can't give you no more. That's what I got. Okay. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all make sure y'all go and check out Hotline Bling. The premiere episode drops tomorrow night on Chef Don Don's page. Make sure you go over to his page. You go ahead and get on that page. Hit the notification bell button, subscribe to the page so that when the episode drops and it premieres, y'all go ahead and y'all get that first feel of the episode. The episode is super messy, uber messy. Y'all are gonna love it. Tell me, check it out, check it out, check it out. Also follow everybody on social media. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Chef Don Don. But I'm out of here for now. I want y'all to have an amazing, blessed Thursday, and don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And if you're watching the playback and you're watching the video, just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. And if you want to donate, you want to hit the Cash App, go on and hit that. Everything that y'all give me, I'm greatly appreciative for. So again, y'all have a good one.